A very good afternoon to you all. My dear students, in this video we'll discuss about meaning and functions of a bank. What is banking? Banking can be defined as the business activity of accepting and safeguarding money owned by other individuals and entities and then lending out this money in order to earn a profit. So, through banking, what the banks do, the banks are accepting the deposits of the general public and lending out this money in order to earn a profit. So, banking means transacting business with a bank, depositing or withdrawing funds or requesting a loan, etc. This is all about what is banking. Let us discuss what are the functions of a bank. There are two types of functions of a bank, primary function and secondary functions. Primary functions are the main functions of the bank, that is, accepting deposits and lending loans. Firstly, there are different types of deposits which are accepted by the banks. Fixed deposits. Fixed deposits are the deposits which mature after a considerable long period like 1 year or more than that. The rate of interest is fixed. So, fixed deposits are also called FDRs, that is a type of deposit in a bank in which people deposit their money for 1 year or more in a bank in order to get a fixed rate of return from the bank. On the maturity, they will get in their principal as well as interest returned from the bank. Second type of deposit which is accepted by the banks is current account deposit. Current account deposits are mainly maintained by business community to facilitate frequent transactions with big amounts. As we know, in business there are frequent big transactions in the business of sale and purchase. So the businessmen generally maintain current account deposits with the bank from which they can get the amount withdrawn whenever they need and they can get the amount deposited whenever they need. Next type of deposit is saving bank account deposit. It is a kind of demand deposit which is generally kept by the people only for the sake of safety. Next is recurring deposit. In case of recurring deposit, a fixed amount is deposited in a bank every month for a fixed period of time. Say for example, a person can deposit rupees 200 every month in recurring deposit account for say 5 years. So for 5 years, every month the person will deposit 200. After 5 years on maturity, a bulk amount will be given to that person along with the interest by the bank. Next is second important function of bank is lending loans. Banks give various kinds of loans to their customers. The first type of loan is call loan. Call loan is called back at any time by the bank. This is a loan which is for a very short term, for a 1 day, for 2 days, for not more than 15 days. Call loans are generally taken by bill brokers or stock brokers. Second type of loan which is provided by the bank is short-term loan, which is sanctioned for a period of 1 year. Then medium-term loan is given by the bank for a period of 1 to 5 years. And next is the long-term loan which is sanctioned by the bank for a period of 5 years or more. Then this long-term loans may include three types of facilities. First is overdraft facility, second is cash credit facility, and third is bill of exchange facility. Overdraft means the bank grants overdraft facility to its reliable and respectable depositors, in which the depositor can withdraw the amount more than the amount in the bank account of the customer. But this facility is provided by the bank only to its most reliable customer. The second type of facility is cash credit facility under which the bank allows the borrower to withdraw cash against certain security. And there is bill of exchange facility provided by the bank, in which bank provide funds to their customers by purchasing and discounting bills of exchange. As we know, business is built upon the credit. A businessman has to make the transactions on credit, has to sell on credit. So whatever the bills are there which have to be redeemed after a certain time period from the customer, the businessman can get their bills discounted from the bank immediately after paying a discounting charges to the bank. Now let us discuss secondary functions of the bank. Apart from these main functions, nowadays the banks are acting as the institutions which provide various other services to their customers. Let us discuss those secondary functions of the bank. The first secondary function is merchant banking. Merchant banking is an organization which underwrites securities for companies and advises in various activities. Nowadays, the banks also provide merchant banking services. The merchant bank refers to a financial institution, that can be a bank, which conducts underwriting, loan services, financial advising, fundraising services for large corporations and high net worth individuals. Generally, merchant banking services are provided by the banks to large companies and to their high net worth individual investors, in which banks provide them underwriting services, loan services, financial advising, etc. Now, next important secondary function which is provided by the banks is mutual funds. The main function of mutual fund services is to mobilize the savings of general public and invest them in stock market and money market. Nowadays, banks also provide mutual fund services in which the people can deposit their small savings to the bank, which is a mutual fund organization. So there will be a pool of savings with the bank which can be deposited by the bank in money and capital market, and the return which is got by the bank from money and capital market is given to their customer in the form of return on their mutual fund schemes. Next important secondary function is venture capital. Venture capital is financial capital provided to early stage, high potential, high risk growth startup companies. So generally venture capital services are provided by the banks to new companies, but the companies which are risk taking, which are at very early stage, but they are coming up with a very novel technology or business plan which may be very growing or successful in future. So for such kind of businesses, the banks can provide venture capital fund services, because to start up or for the purpose of starting such businesses, such businessmen can need fund. So they can move to the banks and banks can provide them venture capital services. Next important service which is very common, which you people also use, is ATM service, and ATM is also known as cash points. The banks nowadays provide ATM facilities. ATM stands for automatic teller machine. The customers can withdraw money easily and quickly 24 hours a day through their ATM card. Then next, bank also provides credit card services. Credit cards allow a person to buy goods and services up to a certain limit without immediate payment. The amount is paid to the shops, to hotel and etc. by the banks. Then banks also provide local services to their customers. Under this service, lockers are provided to the public in various sizes for the payment of fixed interest. Banks charge fixed interest on local services. Then next is leasing. Nowadays, the banks have also started funding the fixed assets through leasing. It refers to renting out of immovable property by the bank to the businessmen. Now, banks also provided telebanking services. Telebanking is a service which is provided by a bank or a financial institution that enable customers to perform over the telephone a range of financial transactions, but which do not involve cash or financial instruments like checks, without the need to visit a bank branch. Generally, the customer can use the telebanking services for performing money transfers, for checking their balances, etc. Then banks also provide underwriting services to joint stock companies and to government. The banks guarantee the purchase of certain proportion of shares if not sold in the market. Whenever company comes up with public issue, the bank can act as an underwriter to this public issue, according to which bank gives guarantee to that company that in case the issue is not fully subscribed by the general public, then bank will buy certain proportion of the shares if they are not sold in the market. So such kind of services which are provided by various financial institutions in India are nowadays provided by the banks as well. So we can say the functions of the banks are not confined to only accepting deposits and lending money nowadays. Rather, banks also provide a lot of secondary functions these days. So this was all about meaning and functions of the bank. Thank you all.